Hi, this is Jenny Langley, author of the new Maudsley training manual. In this video, we'll be looking at exercise 2.7, which introduces the metaphor of the red balloon and the blue balloon, and it helps carers to externalise the illness, to think, am I talking to my loved one, or am I being caught up in some of the eating disorder behaviours? And then exercise 2.8, which follows on, is helping carers to have empathy for their loved ones who might be feeling super sensitive if they feel that somebody's trying to pop either their blue balloon or their red balloon. In your mind, you've got a blue balloon and a red balloon, yeah? And the blue balloon is your resilience side. So it doesn't mean being happy all the time, but it means your ability to pick yourself up. It's all the things that help you to relax that we've been talking about, and it's your support network. So your friends, your family, people you talk to. The red balloon is the things that make you stressed and angry and upset and sad and yeah. So when you've had a bad day, so most of us, most of the time, have got this great big blue balloon and a smaller red balloon. But when you've had a bad day, the red balloon's gone like that, feels like it's blown up, and you feel super sensitive at the end of that bad day. And you go home and your partner says, "How was your day, darling?" And you go, "Ah!" But luckily you can tap back into the blue balloon, which is all of the things that we've been talking about. So the glass of wine, the go for the run, cuddle the dog, good night's sleep, wake up in the morning, red balloon back in its box, blue balloon back up here, okay? Now, when you're caring for someone with an eating disorder or another mental health issue, you feel like your red balloon is permanently blown up. So it's even more important that you keep topping up your blue balloon. You need to focus on your blue balloon. Okay, the person that has the eating disorder or the OCD or whatever it is can feel like their red balloon is completely out of control. So think about my son. So when he was 11, he had this great big passion for football and nothing really in his red balloon. I think his science teacher didn't like him, and he didn't like him, you know, he was horrible, science teacher. Anyway, nothing really in his red balloon. But then what happened, age 11 and a half, he starts doing lots of sort of repetitive exercise. He has a growth spurt, he gets a six-pack, and he's really quick around the football field. So it seems like his blue balloon's got even bigger. And what do you think everyone would say?
You look really good.
You're amazing, you look amazing, you're going to be the best football captain. Okay, what we didn't realise was that the red balloon had started to blow up, because his passion for football was morphing into an obsession for exercise. And so very quickly he started to lose weight. So after 5 weeks, he'd lost 5 kilos. So he couldn't play football so well. So people were like, what's happened? Why isn't he playing football so well? Why is he losing weight like this? After 8 weeks, he's lost 8 kilos. He can't play football anymore. After 10 weeks, he can't go to school. So he's lost his friends and social network as well. And after 12 weeks, he's flat on his back in hospital, okay? Now let's go back to the 8 kilos. So he's still at school, but he couldn't play football. As a mum, which balloon do you think I would focus on, my attention on?
The red.
The red balloon, I can fix you. Mm-hmm. You need to eat more and exercise less, or you might end up in hospital. If you don't stop this ridiculous exercise, you're gonna end up in hospital. So inadvertently, I was blowing up the red balloon. So we learned that we needed to take a step back and start to focus back on the blue balloon, because we know him best. We know since he was born. We needed professional help for this because clearly he was very, very ill. So they could start to, he was in the inpatient unit, they could start to manage this back down, and we could start to blow back up the blue balloon. So we watched the whole of the 2002 World Cup together, and his friends would come around with football magazines and gradually help him to be hopeful that he'd get back to football. And then he came home, and then he went back to school, and then he was playing football, and by the time he's 14, the balance is back like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's think about, what does it feel like physiologically inside your body when someone is telling you not to do a coping strategy? It doesn't matter whether it's in your blue balloon or your red balloon. Okay, so I need 2 people to come and join me. Yeah? Yeah? No, you come, yeah, because we're videoing it, yeah. Okay, so you come on this side, yeah. On this side. So Tiago, the blue balloon, and Alba, the red balloon, so you need to shut your eyes. So hold the balloon like this and shut your eyes. It's so hard to keep your eyes shut when I get my pin out. Okay. Tiago, you breathing? Alba? Now, what's interesting, if I walked away and looked back at Tiago and Alba from a distance, it would be very difficult to know whether they were doing mindful meditation or whether they were frozen with fear. Because I'm right by them, I'm getting a few clear clues that actually they're a bit nervous. Okay? So point to the balloon you think I should pop. Okay, breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how was that, Alba? Yeah? What happened in your heart, with your heart?
It's so scary in a moment because I don't know what happened and you...
So it's terrifying, isn't it? Yeah, so your heart's going...
Yeah.
Yeah? Tiago?
Same.
Same, yeah? Tummy?
Yeah.
Little bit? Sort of like
here.
walls,
Yeah.
swirly-whirly?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because I can't control it. So
Yeah, yeah.
Not even seeing.
So these are physical things in your body, aren't they? Yeah, hands?
Sweaty.
Sweaty?
True.
Sweaty, yeah, and all tense.
Yeah.
And that's because the blood goes to the surface. So it's fight and flight, freeze, isn't it? So if a tiger came into the room, some of you would have this response and run away, and some of you would play dead and hope that the tiger would chase the people running away. Okay? So these are normal physiological responses to stress, aren't they? We all have them, yeah? So, and it's like a wave. So the threat's there, and your body responds like this. It's up like a wave, heart rate, tummy, tension, everything. And then as soon as the threat goes away, it comes back down, like that. Like magic. It's gone, hasn't it? Well, you might be feeling it a little bit because you're still holding a balloon. Okay. Now imagine, Alba, that the waves kept coming for 10 or 15 minutes. How would that be?
Really hard.
Horrible, yeah. Horrible. That's like a panic attack. Yeah? So lots of kids have panic attacks. And the first time they have a panic attack, it's terrifying because they don't know, is it going to end? Is it a heart attack? Is it an asthma attack? What's going on here? But then they learn, oh, that was a panic attack. Can I avoid what triggered the panic attack? If they can, great. But if it's something to do with school, they can't. They've got to learn to manage the panic attack. And the key is that they learn to ride the waves, and then they know that the waves will come back down. And they might learn some soothing techniques. So a friend might stroke their arm or sit with them, or they find a space or something to help manage that. But it's still horrible and they're still exhausted. But imagine if the waves are coming all day.
It's very difficult to cope.
It would be unimaginable, wouldn't it? It would feel unimaginable. Having that heart rate, tummy, sweaty hands, feeling under threat all day, all day. And that's what my son said after, when he got better, was that when we were constantly saying, eat more, exercise less, this is what you need to do, he felt like that. So he'd come home from school absolutely exhausted and he'd say, I'm bored, and go to bed. Kids use that word, don't they? I'm bored. Yeah. Okay. So that's like the anxiety, isn't it? What about depression then? So are you feeling brave?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So if you just hold the balloon for me. Okay. Because it's the tough bit at the top.
This is a magic trick?
No. Because this bit is under pressure, isn't it? But that's the tough bit. Yeah? So if you're careful, you can put the pin. What's going to happen, Tiago, if I take the pin out?
It will start to shrink.
Yeah.
Eventually. Or not.
So can we see what's happening? Can you feel it if you put it by your face?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot.
solid.
Yeah. So the sadness that comes with whatever the mental health issue might be, the sadness is feeling that your blue balloon is going down and you can't top it up. You lose that ability to top your blue balloon up. So you've got the anxiety side, which is that energy, and then you've got that, my blue balloon feels like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And Jen, you described that so well with my daughter's not doing her swimming and her music and the world is shrinking.
Yeah.
So that's what our loved ones are dealing with. Yeah.
She doesn't have, I don't know if this is also called, the kind of desperation side of it from her.
Yeah.
And the sadness from her. Now she doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But I know that I need to get her back doing things with
Yeah.
her friends to help her. But it's hoping that there'll be techniques now that we can finally
Yes.
get back.
Exactly, because we want to help them to blow back up their own blue balloon. Yeah. Okay. For my son, it was getting back to football, but it's different for every single person. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. In exercise 2.7, we've given you a very visual way to think about, am I getting sucked into some of the eating disorder behaviours? Could I take a step back sometimes? Could I focus more attention on the blue balloon stuff, spend more time doing pleasurable things with my loved one, rather than always being worried about the eating disorder? It's so easy to get sucked in, and it's really important to try to keep calm and take a step back sometimes. And then exercise 2.8, we could all relate to how it feels when we're under threat, the heart rate rising, the swirling stomach, etc., etc. So it helps us to empathise with why our loved ones with eating disorders sometimes just seem so angry, anxious, sad, withdrawn, because they're feeling sort of under threat that someone's going to pop their balloons. Of course, you can download any of these worksheets at www.thenewmaudsleyaapproach.co.uk, and I hope that you're enjoying these videos. Thank you.